Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to the Uncle Bogator channel. Look at us. We're riding motorcycles together. It's like one of the rarest things on earth, on the channel, over the last several weeks. It's Sunday. I'm not even going to say the date. It's like September 14th, I think. Well, I just said I'm not going to say it, then there I go. So, clearly I'm a liar. Hey, actually going to have a little topic today. I mean, we're going to do this motovlog stuff, and actually, I've been thinking about this video for a few weeks, and I thought I was going to, like, sit in the garage and kind of write a script out, which probably would have benefited me, because it would have been a lot more organized, and I could have looked up better details, but I don't necessarily like to or want to talk shit about a company, and I know there are some other YouTubers out there who just won't, and that's fine. It's up to them. Maybe they have larger followings and they don't want to cause. I don't think I'm going to impact these people at all, so I'm just going to speak from the heart here. If you're new to the channel, some of the stuff may or may not make sense, and I'll give some backstory. So if you've been around here for a while, you already know what's going on, or what was going on with. I should have Bo Mama back there trying to show off. With her wheels on that bike. Which, before I even get into it, do you like those wheels?
I love them.
The wheels are hot, man. They
look really good.
They look so good. Here, I'll let her get up next to me here. And I'll probably post a picture up here on the screen. And this is relevant. You need to wash your white wall, girl. All right, let's go.
Yeah, I know.
So, if you recall, those of you who have been here a while, back in January, so we're talking 8 months ago almost. Yeah, almost damn near 8 months ago. My wife and I were riding up to Teddy Morse Harley Davidson / Saints and Sinners, which coincidentally that's where we're going today. So, have you ridden your motorcycle to Saints and Sinners since it's been back up?
I don't think so.
All right. Well,
yeah, I don't think so.
I hope we don't jinx it. Anyway, that's back when I had, 1998 or 6 or whatever it was, 6 I think, yellow, green Dyna that 100% of people loved that color and never said how ugly it was on any of the comments of my videos ever. Anyway, so on the way up there, about a mile from the dealership, the sprocket just popped off of my rear wheel on my bike, right? And I'm like, holy shit. I mean, whoever did work on that thing before I had it, I don't think it was the guy directly before. Anyway, so, we called up Teddy Morse. They came and picked it up, and I had that fixed within a few days. But in the meantime, I said, hey, we'll go 2 up on your bike, this Dyna here. And what's funny? That was good.
Yeah, it was great.
That was great. So anyway, we rode up, had our fun for the day up at Saints and Sinners, and we get 2 up on the way back home, probably 5 miles from the dealership on the way back home. The same shit happens to her bike. Now back when this happened, some people were talking about, oh, somebody fucked with your bikes, whatever. I don't think that's the case, man. They're never out of our sight, really, and who has time to do that, if I'm right there without being seen? I mean, maybe I can't rule that out of the realm of possibility, but anyway, so now we're going to kind of get into the meat of the story here and why I will never advocate nor spend money with DNA Specialties ever again, okay? Well, asterisk, ever again. As of right now, I don't want to ever spend money with them ever again. So we look at this as, okay, for my bike, all I had to do was find a new rear wheel. And it just so happens in a town about a half hour from here, somebody had one. So I bought it from him for like $150, and I paid, Teddy Morse a couple $100 to put it on. So no big deal. That was back in a week. Her bike we had towed back to the garage. And I guess I'm not in the meat of the story yet, but we'll get there. I'm long-winded. You can put this on 2 times speed or whatever. But and I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? I get a good look at it. There's videos out there of this whole ordeal from actually all throughout the whole thing. And I started looking around, shopping for wheels, and for the most part, like the high dollar, like name brand. I don't know what name brand wheels are, but it was going to be like 2,500, $3,000 per wheel, and I'm like, I can't do that. How are we going to get this thing done? So we sold the yellow/green neon tennis ball Dyna, and I ordered her those wheels. I found them. They had a sale on them at the time. DNA, customs or DNA specialty, whatever the hell they're called. DNA something. I think it stands for do not attempt to buy from these people is what it stands for. But so on the website the day that I ordered them, I'm like, hey, this is a pretty good deal. I'm like, they were advertising, should be delivered in 10 to 12 days. Anyway, somebody commented on that Instagram post. I don't remember who it was now. I apologize. This was 9 months ago. I can't even remember 9 minutes ago. And they said, yeah, good luck. They told me, 10 to 12 days too, but it took several months. I'm like, oh, great. That was my first indication, right? Coincidentally, if you go on the website now and try to order wheels, which I did go through a fake order just to see, that 10 to 12 days thing is no longer there. It didn't take business days, but I gave them the benefit of the doubt, or I erred on the side of caution. After 12 business days, I started reaching out. I'm like, hey, where are these wheels? And the response was, these take 6 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay. So here's what I think. I could be mistaken, right? One thing I know for sure is that the wheels that we got, the mag wheels that they sell, they stamp them there. It's a production facility and a sales facility, right? There are some wheels that I think they can have to you in 10 to 12 days, and I think they make most of their money off of the fat spoke wheels, like the 21-inch front, blah, blah, blah. I think that's where their bread and butter is. So those, they're probably getting from somewhere else, China. I don't know where they get them from. And they probably have those on hand, and they can mail them out. So the ordering process was pretty specific. In fact, it took me several days, not constantly, but, here and there, looking up all parts, to make sure I had my order right, because they were very specific on their order form. Like, what is the year, year, make, and model of the motorcycle? 2010 Fat Bob. Is it dual front? Yes, it's dual front. How big are the rotors? Because there are different size rotors for different size applications. I'm like, all right. Are you getting a new pulley? Yes, I'm getting a new pulley. All right. Is it a 1-inch by 66 tooth, or is it a 65 tooth? I don't remember the actual number. So I had to look all those things up. I had to, call friends that I have at the Harley dealership to make sure I was looking at it right. And they said, yeah, it should be this. Perfect. All right. So 6 weeks rolls around after I get this email saying, well, these things take 6 weeks. Guess what? I didn't have them in 6 weeks. Okay. Shocking to all. I know you guys are surprised by the way this whole story's going, but so emailed them again. I said, all right, today's the end of week 6. When can I expect these wheels? So they emailed back, hey, we apologize. The typical customer service thing, whatever. It's not whoever emails me, it's not their fault. And they're like, oh, we're gonna rush these, and make sure you have them by the end of this week. And they did. I got 2 wheels. I didn't say I got my order. I got 2 wheels by the end of the 7th week. Okay, we get them, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah, man. I'm looking at them, and I noticed something a little off. I'm like, well, it appears there's only one hub on the front wheel. I went through the trouble of going through your very intense order form, told you it was dual front rotor. You sent me dual rotors, but you only gave me one hub. What the hell? So I had to get back on the phone with them. Yeah, they were kind of apologetic, but they're like, I think they were irritated because they do stamp them to order and they fucked it up. So they said, okay, we'll replace it, but I had to send it back first. Now they paid for it, But still, now this heavy ass package has to get all the way out to Compton. That's where they're at, Compton. It has to get out there. You know, they have to receive it, verify it, and then send it back. So now we're waiting another 3 weeks. You know, by this point, this is the end of April, beginning of May. Okay. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that it's gone on this long, and I'm keep thinking 10 to 12 days. 10 to 12 days. I've been pissed off about that this whole time. All right, day finally comes where I can dedicate some real time to this thing. Again, I even posted to Instagram, hey, let's get this shit taken care of finally. I get the rear wheel off, and I'm like, okay, well, this ain't gonna be that bad. It was that bad. I'm gonna tell you two things. Now some of this, like this first part here, I'm gonna take some responsibility on some. Okay. The Fat Bob wheels, the shoulder around the wheel is rounded, and I wouldn't ever think that was a big deal. Where the shoulders on the new wheels are squared off, and what that does is it makes, man, you ought to see how close the brake caliper mounting system is to the edge of the wheel. We're talking. It's very tight. It's so tight there, man. It's so tight. In fact, I've got some scuffs on the shoulder of the wheel there where I was trying to get that caliper in there right. Anyway, I get that rear wheel on, and the spacer on the left side, on the pulley side, won't go in. I'm thinking, what in the fuck is going on here, right? It's the same width, almost the same width wheel, same width tire. And I just couldn't get that spacer. I thought maybe there's a certain order. I'm on YouTube all morning. So then I had a bright idea. I'm like, well, let's measure the hub width. Sure enough, the hub for the rear wheel was a 1/2 inch wider than the stock wheel. So the Fat Bob did not have stock wheels on it when we changed them out, right? But I know for a fact they were the same width as stock wheels because the spacers that I took off were stock length spacers. Get me? So I can use deductive reasoning to say those wheels were the same hub width as stock. So I'm pissed, right? I'm like, okay, I call up Shelby. I'm like, hey man, you know, I need a 1/2 inch off of this thing. Do I need to take off a 1/4 inch on each side so that way the wheel stays centered? And thankfully I called him instead of just doing that, because he said, no, because your axle goes through that whole caliper mounting assembly. You can't take anything off the right side. It can only be from the left side. Okay. I go to a machine shop. I've never been to a machine shop in my life. I go to a machine shop. I ask him, I took that stock spacer up there, the left side spacer, and he cuts a 1/2 inch off. Well, since that one was wider, I'm like, well, the front one's probably messed up too. So I got the new front one out. I measured it against the stock wheel. Okay, well, it wasn't wider. It was 1 1/8 inches narrower. So I'm pretty pissed at this point. The biggest reason is because they're very detailed on their order form, and they want to know precisely what year, make, and model your bike is. Why do you need that information if you're not going to utilize any of the information that's out there on these? Like, basically, it's just, you can just order the wheel. You can just order the wheel, and it doesn't matter what bike. If they're not going to take into consideration what the factory specs are, then why do I have to put it on there? Okay, so I'm not an engineer. I'm just an old redneck doing work in a garage in Florida, right? So I went, 1.1 inch, and I'm like, all right, well, this is where Shelby's like down in the front, because it's dual rotor. The hardest part is going to be true enough of the brakes, and you got to make sure they're even. That bug. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to get two spacers that are going to be. I think it's what, the 9/16. I think it's 9/16. That are two spacers that are 9/16 longer per side, something like that. Okay, if you can do the math. I'm on my motorcycle. I left my TI-86 at home. So I'm like, well, I'm going to the machine shop. I might as well have him, create me these two things. He was expensive. He was very expensive. Let me tell you that to cut down, an existing spacer and to create those other two spacers, it's about $200. I'm like, well, it's custom work. That's how I was able to rationalize it, whatever. I get the rear wheel on, and now I'm like, okay, we start looking, it was May, because we started looking at buying our house, and I said, all right, I don't want to start digging into the front wheel and run into a problem where I can't get this motorcycle over to the house. So I kind of had to put a pause on everything. And then if you watched any of the videos from when I got that front wheel together, you can see all the problems I have with that. I go to put the front wheel on, and I had very similar problems. I'm not going to go through the problems because those aren't DNA's fault necessarily, but that machine shop was junk. I took the two spacers he made to another machine shop. He showed me with a caliper tool, not a caliper, brake caliper. He showed me with a caliper tool how he made them basically conical on the inside, so you couldn't get the axle through anyway. And then I had to get in touch with another machinist up in New Hampshire. So I dealt with 3 machine shops. Okay, so let me tell you, the Vulcan Industries, I think they're called, up in New Hampshire, they're great. They already had spacers exactly the size I needed. So finally, at the end of June, I believe, early July, finally, we got that thing fixed. Insert applause here. So we got the wheels on. There are some scuffs, like I said. I've got these custom spacers on there. It's just crazy. And while somebody suggested, you should have got in touch with them and said, I'm not paying for these wheels or take them back. But then I thought, well, what am I going to do? I just dealt with it, right? So that's on me that I just dealt with it. I wanted to get those wheels on for her. But the whole process, from how long it took to get the wheels, then they were the wrong wheels, then the rear wheel being too wide and the front one being too narrow. Man, it was just a really, really poor experience. And the crazy thing is, because when I reached out to some of these shops, I actually had to take the bike or the wheel over to a local shop to have them get some of the bolts out for something. But them and Vulcan, when I told them, they were DNA wheels, they both had the same reaction. The guy up in New Hampshire started cursing, those other farmers, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, the guys are bringing their wheels up here all the time because none of them fit. And you have to figure it out. I'm like, yeah, well, at least you're a machine shop. I'm just a dude. I had to figure it out. So is everybody's experience going to be the exact same? I don't know. But I think that's a pretty good indication that, their ordering process, their timeliness of delivery, their quality control, not looking at, I'm putting them on the year, make, and model of the motorcycle in. What are you doing with that information? I mean, that whole thing, I can't see ever spending money with them again. That was a long, long speech. What do you think, Mama?
What do I think about my wheels? I like them.
Well,
I love them.
Whole process.
The whole situation is kind of crappy. I mean, you spend that kind of money with a company, and you just kind of hope for a better outcome. I guess not even outcome, just a whole better experience.
Yeah, the experience is pretty shitty. So, and the bad thing is now, like at this point, I have the wheels on and they're fixed, right? But like I tell people, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not an engineer. Did I calculate everything right? I've been very nervous. I mean, she's been riding it about a month now. I'm very nervous about it. That's like the tires and wheels and brakes are probably the most important things on any vehicle. Now I can already hear, well, you should have just taken it to a shop. No, I wanted to do it myself. Even with the nervousness about doing it myself, I wanted to. I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. There's a lot of motorcycle tops out.
There sure are.
Fourth ones we've seen. Anyway, I don't know what else I'm even going to include in this video because I have yapped for over 20 minutes now. I don't know how much it gets edited down, but anyway, we're going to enjoy this ride on up to St. Sinners. Gosh, she sounds like a lawnmower back there. Oh.
I do not.
We're going to have a good time up here. There's a decent band playing. You know, they got good sandwiches. I mean, it'll be fun. It'll be a great day. We'll see you down the road. All right, boys, we're wrapping this one up. Man, if you made it this far in that rant, it's good to have a topic, though. I feel like a lot of my videos are just kind of, well, the motovlog videos are just kind of rambling while we're out riding. I guess that's the beauty of a vlog, though. You can just kind of do that, and people are going to watch or they're not. But this one, no, very specific. So that was almost 2 weeks ago. I'm sticking to my guns on that, man. I just really don't think I'll ever spend money with them again. I mean, if you want to, that's totally up to you. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to have that much of a reach or impact on their business, and I'm not trying to. I just wanted to share my experience, hopefully so others might see it and, you know, have a better informed decision. And maybe you order similar wheels from them and you don't have those problems. That's probably the best case scenario, right? Are you willing to take that risk? That's up to you. I've got a couple motorcycle videos in the old brain up here that I want to put out soon. I'm actually going to record one today with her air cleaner. And then I don't know, gosh, I don't know what I want to do with the channel. I know you guys say post whatever you want, whatever, but if you watch that political video, I lost some subscribers over that. Like, for me, I'm small enough to where I can see growth, you know, every day pretty much. And for the first time in, gosh, 4 years, I've seen a decrease. So I lost, you know, as of this morning, 25 to 30 subs and over that political video. And I don't care. So I don't know if I'm going to veer off and go that way or not. I know there was a motorcycle creator, you know, probably 2 years ago that did the same thing, and you know, people didn't like it at first. Now he's growing substantially, and I'm not using him as a litmus, but I don't know what I want to do. I just, like I said in that video, I kind of feel a calling, if you will. Not a biblical calling, just anyway, I'm rambling now, but I do appreciate you coming along for this video and all videos. And until next time, we'll see you later.